This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Bouncer backlash. New security rules take effect at Nova Scotia bars. Amid criticism, they fall short. Pharmacy phase-out. Sherbrooke's lone drugstore is closing permanently, forcing residents to travel for prescriptions. And We and the Sea, a new exhibit exploring 400 years of African Nova Scotian maritime history.
Temperatures heading in the right direction over the next couple of days, but scattered showers and the risk for thunderstorms on tap for Tuesday. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. Starting today, there are new rules for security staff at licensed bars and restaurants in Nova Scotia. But the sister of a man who was beaten to death by bouncers in Halifax says the regulations are too little and too late. Josh Hoffman reports.
On June 1st, new rules for bouncers at all licensed establishments in Nova Scotia come into effect, but they're being criticized for falling short. The rules are the province's response to the death of Ryan Sawyer outside the Halifax Ale House on December 24th, 2022. Sawyer died after being choked out by a bouncer for 2 minutes. That bouncer was still on the job while facing an assault charge from a previous incident involving another patron. A spokesperson for the province's alcohol and gaming division says these new rules will better protect Nova Scotians. Bouncers must now complete online training and a criminal record check. And it sounds like the bar industry is on board.
They understand that we need to prioritize safety. That's important to them. That's important to everyone. So they're embracing this as well.
There were no regulations in place for bouncers at the time of Sawyer's death, despite the efforts of a family who lost a loved one similarly almost 3 decades ago. Stephen Giffen died in 1999 after being beaten by bouncers at a Halifax bar. His father spent 10 years pressuring the province to create stricter rules for bar security. In 2010, the then NDP government drafted new legislation for bar security, but it was never proclaimed into law.
They didn't do what they should have done. 3 consecutive governments who have failed to put in legislation that actually would protect people, patrons at these establishments.
And now that there are rules in place, Giffen thinks they're not good enough. She says an online course can't prepare bouncers for real-life scenarios.
Putting those skill sets into practice when you're under an intense situation, which I think a lot of times these security personnel are, I think that's a pretty big step from doing an online training program to applying something effectively in that kind of a situation.
A provincial spokesperson says they will work with bars to make sure all bouncers are trained and vetted, but there's no deadline for having everyone compliant. Josh Hoffman, CBC News, Halifax.
It's been 1 year since Ken McDonald found his son's remains along a dirt road outside of Sydney. Family and friends marked the anniversary with song and prayer. And as Kyle Moore tells us, McDonald's family is hoping support will continue with a long court process still ahead.
There's not much along this dirt road outside of Sydney, but for Ken McDonald, it's an area that means everything to him.
This was his resting spot, and it has to be remembered, and it has to be remembered of what happened, what they did.
Now, a year later, through song and prayer, family and friends gather to remember a life gone too soon. For Ken McDonald, he remembers the day he found his son's remains after months of searching.
And it took 322 days to find our son. I mean, he was disregarded with no respect, none whatsoever.
Justin McDonald was last seen on July 7, 2024, around 11 p.m. at the Irving gas station in North Sydney, where he appeared on the store's security camera. His vehicle was found about 25 kilometers away in the area of Myra Road. 3 people have been charged in connection with McDonald's death, which now remains before the court.
Oh, good Lord, I'll be there to the end. I'll be there every day, every case, every time that there's something has to happen, whether it's 5 minutes or it's an hour, I'll be attending. Yeah, no, I'll be there right to the end. I could never have made it this far with no friends, family, or community.
Back on Morley Road, about 50 people gather to help the McDonalds pay tribute and remember their son. Ken says he's received support since day one from one end of the province to the other, and he says it's made a difference.
Mentally, 1,000%. I don't know how anybody could do it alone. And, you have your moments and your breakdowns. But to know that other people care and sincerely care, it really helps you move forward and continue on to the next step.
Justin McDonald would have celebrated his 36th birthday last Sunday. Kyle Moore, CBC News, Sydney.
Southwest Nova RCMP are investigating a suspicious death and fire in Antigonish County. Police responded to a report of a residential fire in Upper Big Trackety around 8:30 Sunday night. After crews extinguished the fire, officers found a deceased man nearby on the property. Investigators are working with the Nova Scotia Medical Examiner Service as well as the fire marshal. A wanted Nova Scotia man who has been charged with historic sexual offenses has been arrested. RCMP were looking for 43-year-old Graham Mackenzie Gordon of Annapolis County since Friday. He was wanted on a province-wide arrest warrant. Police believe he may have been in the Bible Hill area. Earlier today, RCMP say Gordon was arrested, but they did not say when or where he was arrested. Well, the wait list for dialysis in Pictou County has finally been eliminated. The province spent $3.5 million to triple the size of the unit at Sutherland Harris Memorial Hospital. It now has 12 chairs, up from 4. The health services manager for the rental program in the northern zone says, renal program rather, says many patients have had to travel for dialysis, costing them thousands and adding on significant time when they're already having lengthy treatments.
For the longest while, since I started in 2023, we always had a very large wait list. At one point in time, we had 20 patients on our wait list, and that's a preferred site list, which is based on the community the patients lived in. So at that point in time, we had 20 Pictou County patients traveling either to Truro or to Antigonish to get their dialysis care because we were at capacity here. We only had 4 chairs, so it means they don't have to travel.
Billard says not only have they been able to accept all local dialysis patients, but the hospital can now treat people on vacation who also require dialysis. The village of Sherbrooke is losing its only pharmacy. The municipality is hoping to attract a new provider, and efforts are underway to deliver prescriptions. But as the CBC's Luke Ettinger reports, community members are concerned about side effects of the service loss.
The drugstore in Sherbrooke Village Museum could soon be the only physical pharmacy left in the district of St. Mary's largest community. Shoppers Drug Mart is pulling out of the community on June 11th.
For the past year, the pharmacy has been operating out of this trailer. A statement from parent company Loblaw says that's because of structural issues with the leased building. A spokesperson says other options were looked at before the decision to permanently close the pharmacy.
We're a little bit isolated in this community, almost an hour from bigger places and a lot of seniors. Not a lot of ways to get back and forth to pick it up, and we're just missing it a lot. It just was a huge part of this place.
When the trailer pulls out, the closest pharmacy will be in Antigonish, about 60 kilometers away.
I mean, honestly, to drive to Antigonish, get your prescription, come back, you're taking an hour and a half, almost 2 hours out of your day just to pick up a prescription, and that's unreasonable.
The District of St. Mary's is hoping to attract a new pharmacy. In the meantime, Fuller says pickup services will be offered at the library.
There would not be a pharmacist on staff. It's strictly delivery, and I am unsure of the exact dates and times, and that's something that they will work out and get announced. But it would be probably a couple days a week that there would be prescription services available.
SmartGo, the local rural transit provider, met with area seniors to discuss possible delivery options. The loss of in-person pharmacy services is a tough pill to swallow.
I think it's be devastating for the village. We're faced with all kinds of cuts with our provincial museum. Our bank isn't open all the time anymore, and it's becoming less attractive for people to move here because the services aren't going to be here anymore. And that's hard to think about. Really is.
Yeah, whatever you lose, you never get back.
Fuller says other pharmacy providers are expressing interest. He says that could include another temporary pharmacy with municipally owned property eventually being redeveloped. Luke Ettinger, CBC News, Sherbrooke.
And we've got Ryan with first look at the weather. So June arrived with some sunshine.
Yeah, that's right. And temperatures heading in the right direction. Amy, creeping up over the last few hours. Couldn't have happened for the weekend, right? Had to wait for Monday. But yeah, we're at least closer to seasonal. Temperatures in those low single to mid teens out there, and yeah, low double digits, I should say, to mid-teens. So pretty good. 16 and 17 degrees, Kentville, Greenwood. Those are some of our warmer spots today. We're going to be back in that wheelhouse again for tomorrow. Tomorrow, though, we've got a pretty good chance of some scattered showers and a risk for thunderstorms across the province. The greatest chances are going to be in the northeast. This is the trough that's going to be bringing it in. Overnight, there's actually a risk for showers beginning in the northeast. Tomorrow afternoon, Tuesday afternoon, this is where things get really unsettled with those scattered showers and risks for thunderstorms. Cape Breton, eastern parts of the mainland will run the biggest risk, and then that trough will kind of fizzle out as we move into Wednesday. High pressure bringing us more sunshine and even warmer temperatures Wednesday into Thursday. Your full 7-day is coming up, Amy.
All right, we'll take it. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Nova Scotia has once again scored low on the latest report from Food Banks Canada. The province received a D on its poverty report card, up slightly from a D- in 2024. Nova Scotia received a failing grade for housing affordability, access to health care, and adequacy of government support. Some of the recommendations from Food Banks Canada include raising social assistance and expanding employment and skills training programs. Nova Scotia's women's provincial curling title has been renamed in honor of the late curling legend and CBC broadcaster Colleen Jones. At an event on Sunday, her son Luke Saunders unveiled the Colleen Jones Memorial Trophy. Saunders says it's a nice touch and honor for his mother. Jones won a record-tying 6 national titles over her 5-decade-long sports career. Jones died last year at the age of 65 after a 3-year battle with cancer. A new traveling exhibit just launched at the Black Loyalist Heritage Centre. We and the Sea tells the story of how sea shaped the lives of African Nova Scotians.
I do thank everyone for coming here today to take part in this historic moment.
This exhibit is all about recognizing and storytelling about the African Nova Scotia fishermen, a story that's not told, a story that I didn't even know much about myself, but we're having a chance to launch this exhibit with the Black Loyalist, the Fishermen's Museum of the Atlantic, and the Black Cultural Centre. But the biggest launch is with the community and with the province.
Really, we are trying to introduce about 400 years of marine history, and in doing so, it really runs a gamut of topics from early settlement and exploration to the development of maritime trades, as well as what it was like to live, or what it still is like to live within a coastal community.
I think that, when you think of marginalized communities, I think in particular the African Nova Scotia community, for many years the community has been defined by enslavement. And that enslavement has created a reference point that, people are reticent to share their history. And so things like this create an opportunity where we can turn that page and show that, through the atrocities of enslavement, there were contributions made to society.
I grew up in Lockport, and we were the only colored family there at that time. So, and I always knew there was more, but people never really talked about anything. So as I grew up and I started traveling with sports, I was paying attention to all the cultures and the people in the world. And so it was in my interest to take an interest in what's going on here in our areas, yeah. Young people have to be taught. I don't care what color you are. I don't care anything like that. They have to be taught about people and history. It's important, and it makes us better.
And I do challenge the educational systems to actually bring their students here and have a visit, especially the Nova Scotia Community College, universities, high schools, elementary schools. I'd like to see them all come here, and this is part of learning. And just to remember that Black history is Canadian history.
And Ryan's forecast is coming up after the break. Stay with us. And Ryan's back with his full forecast. And I do have to say, it's very heartening to see the temperatures on the rise as we go into June.
That's right. June 1st, we're here. Today also marks the beginning of the Atlantic hurricane season.
Not liking that as much as the warmer temperatures.
But you know what? This season, forecasters are thinking it's going to be near to below average in terms of activity. One of the big reasons is El Nino, and I've got a little more to say about El Nino with this piece. A so-called Super El Nino is coming, and it will have some interesting impacts on Atlantic Canada. El Niños typically occur every 2 to 7 years when temperatures are warmer than average in the East Central Pacific. However, this El Nino looks like it will be one of the strongest on record. A stronger El Nino likely means the upcoming Atlantic hurricane season will be quieter than normal. That might seem odd because warmer ocean temperatures usually mean more tropical storms and hurricanes, but not necessarily with a strong El Nino. Tropical storms and hurricanes like to develop straight up and down. Warm, moist air rises into the storm, fueling it, and then it's fanned out through the top of the system. This flow allows more air to come in and replace it with more fuel from the warm ocean waters below. But when El Nino is at its strongest, which is expected this fall, the warm temperatures in the Pacific cause strong mid to upper level winds across the Caribbean and tropical Atlantic. That wind shear tilts the storm system, cutting off that energy flow, which really limits their strength and development. The latest NOAA hurricane outlook reflects this phenomenon. This doesn't mean we won't see hurricanes. It just means there will likely be fewer storms than normal, which improves our chances of not seeing one move up the coast and into Atlantic Canada. But remember, it only takes one big storm to move in and cause damage. So if El Nino brings warm temperatures, what happens to winter in Atlantic Canada? Well, for a typical El Nino, it can be a coin flip for winter temperatures. But with a super El Nino, the odds of a warmer than average winter really increase. Let's look back at some winters impacted by super El Ninos. All of them were far warmer than average across most of the country. This map shows temperature anomalies for the winter of 2016. The darker the orange and red, the warmer the winter temperatures. It was a similar story for the winter of 1998 and the winter of 1983. So, there's a good chance this winter as a whole will be warmer than average. There will still be cold air, you will still need a shovel, but if the El Nino is strong, then the chances are there will be less snow than last winter. The orange and brown colors shown in this map indicate the chances of above average snow during a super El Nino winter based on the past 4 events. The list of super El Ninos is super short, since official record keeping began in 1950. 2015 into 16, 1997 into 98, 1982 into 83 are the strongest recent events, with 1972 into 73 also climbing into that super territory. Not only could this upcoming El Nino event rival those years, some models are projecting this event could be the strongest since 1877, which is one of the most powerful and devastating climate events in recorded history. El Nino's impacts will peak late this year and continue right into next year, increasing the chances of heat waves, drought, and wildfires for Canada and other parts of the world. Coupled with an already warming planet, this super El Nino will very likely make 2027 the warmest on record for planet Earth. Ryan Snoddon, CBC News, Halifax. All right, lots to unpack there. Obviously, hurricane season, as I said, very good chance that it's going to be near to below average, 55% chances of it being below average. Obviously, the winter, there's lots of time to unpack that and what that might mean for our winter season. It's all going to depend on how strong the super El Nino is. And just reading more research today, more model data indicating that, again, this is looking very likely to be one of the strongest El Nino events on record. So we'll be obviously watching this. It's not going to peak until this fall into this winter. We'll be watching this obviously in the coming weeks, but yeah, stay tuned. You're going to be hearing a lot about the super El Nino right into next year, when it will likely have its biggest impact for the globe as a whole, with the temperatures that are likely to be well above average as a whole for the planet. All right, there's a look at Lockport Crescent Beach, and yeah, speaking of hurricane season, there's the ocean. Beautiful evening there. Almost looks like summer, doesn't it? As we look at those temperatures out there Along the coastline, not quite feeling it with that southwest flow. We're into the low double digits. We get the mid-teen temperatures here across most of the rest of central parts of the province and up into Cape Breton. Temperatures high single, low double digits today, or at this hour, I should say. Not too gusty, thankfully. We've been looking at this band of mid to high level cloud cover that's been kind of parked across the province for a good portion of the afternoon. There's this trough, and you can see all the activity bubbling up underneath it. That's going to bring its activity to us tomorrow with some scattered shower chances and a risk for thunderstorms. Keeping an eye on things out west, obviously look at the cool down in Alberta today. 7 in Calgary, 10 in Edmonton. That heat dome is now over Manitoba into northwestern Ontario. Temperatures here are going to warm up as well. It won't be sticking around for too long. There is a chance for some showers, as you can see here, as we work our way through the late overnight into the early morning hours of tomorrow. There's that cloud cover that's being picked up pretty well by this high-resolution model. As we move into the overnight and tomorrow morning, there are those scattered shower chances from Cobequid Bay, Colchester, Cumberland, into Cape Breton. And then as we work our way throughout the day tomorrow, that trough settles in from north to south, and you'll see that that cloud cover remaining fairly dominant. Tomorrow, we'll call it a mainly cloudy day for you folks in Cape Breton, across that Northumberland shore, eastern parts of the mainland, sun and cloud, central and western areas. But note, pretty much everybody with a risk of seeing these scattered showers and thunderstorms into the afternoon, but the best chances are central and eastern areas of the province. So keep your eye on the sky. Remember when the thunder roars, head indoors. Those temperatures tomorrow still struggling a little bit in terms of where we should be this time of year for Cape Breton, but 8 to 12 degrees. Southerly winds, 20 gusting to 40. We'll be in that 9 to 13 range for eastern parts of the mainland into central. Temperatures here ranging between 10 and 11 in those onshore winds, places like Musquodoboit Harbor. And as we work our way inland, we'll be in the 13, 14, 15 degree range. And back into the west, our warmest temperatures tomorrow likely Kedgie and Bridgewater, and into the valley as well. Onshore winds keeping temperatures a bit cooler for the South Shore and into Yarmouth and Shelburne. That trough line kind of fizzles out, pivots to the east on Wednesday, then fades. By Wednesday afternoon, we're looking at a fine afternoon indeed. Temperatures warming even further. We'll be back into the low to mid-teens across Cape Breton. For most of Nova Scotia, most of mainland, I should say, will be in that mid to high teen range and likely some 20s as we work our way into Cape Breton. Thursday is when we really start to see the heat. And the reason is this area of high pressure moves off to the east. We get into the southwest flow on Thursday. That is going to allow our temperatures to really start to climb. And it's all about this cold front for late week. I mentioned the heat really building, but not holding on for terribly long here. And it's all about this front. So right now, it looks like the front will move through kind of Friday evening, overnight into Saturday, lingering Saturday with some showers. The ultimate question is, behind the front, how much of a cool down do we see? How much of a reset do we see? Right now, it looks like maybe some mid to high teens Saturday into Sunday, but that still needs to be ironed out a little bit. So we'll be tracking that cold front all week. It'll have a lot to do with what we end up seeing on the weekend, Amy.
All right, we've got a few days.
We do.
Okay, thanks for that, Ryan.
Thank you.
Coming up, it's foaling season on Sable Island, and some of this year's babies have already arrived. It's foaling season on Sable Island. Mares in the wild herd typically give birth between April and July, and some of this year's babies have already arrived. And for more on this, we're joined by Sarah Medill, Operations Coordinator at Sable Island National Park Reserve. So a busy time on the island. Any sense of how many foals are on the ground as of right now?
Not a real good idea quite yet, but we are about probably halfway through the foaling season. So May and June are certainly our peak times for newborns.
Well, since they're completely wild horses, is there any help from humans at all if a mare or a new foal gets into trouble during the birthing process?
There isn't, no. They are managed as wildlife, so if they're in trouble because of a natural process, they are on their own really for that.
Well, looking at the wider herd, how many horses are on the island overall, and what are the dynamics at play within these family groups?
Sure. So during the 2025 census, there were 447 distinct individuals. Of that, I think probably 57 foals. I forgot to check the exact number, but our average is about 70 foals a year, and that ranges anywhere from 29 to 1 year we even had 96 foals born in a year. We'll probably see about the similar numbers this year. So,
and they're not in one big herd, I gather.
No, they are. They're pretty well spread out across the entire island. There's a sort of higher density of horses in the West End, and then they get a little bit more spread out and a little less dense as you move towards the east. The bands are usually, well, they can be anywhere from 2 individuals, so a 1 mare with a stallion, to some of our biggest bands are maybe 16 members. And the bands are usually the male, the females, and then the subsequent offspring. So they can be, the new foals, even sometimes the 3-year-olds, but usually after about 3 years old, both the males and females will leave that, what's called a natal band, so the band that they're born into, and then go off and either join the bachelor groups for the males, or the females will be sort of taken into another herd.
Well, can you talk a bit about the backstory, how these horses ended up there in the first place? I know there is this mythology about a shipwreck, but it's something different, I guess.
Yeah, so there's documented introductions of horses to the island. So in 1737, 1738, Andrew Lemercier, who was working with a shipping merchant, was reported to have brought livestock to the island. So it included horses, cattle, sheep, and hogs. And they were trying to establish a colony on the island, but because circumstances or people weren't that interested in living out that far in the ocean, it never really took off. But the livestock was left there. Then there's another record of introductions of about 60 horses in the 1760s, which coincided with the Acadian expulsion. And so there's a record of 60 horses likely that were taken from the Acadians that were brought to the island, again, with other livestock. And once again, just sort of let loose to breed with the thought that they would be coming back to, harvest or collect some of the livestock and periodically for taking to market.
So as you say, they've been there for centuries, facing some brutal weather conditions. How are they built to withstand that?
So they do get a really heavy, thick coat during the winter. So that's one thing that helps them out. It provides a really good insulation. Sometimes you'll see the snow just sort of staying on their back because the heat isn't getting right to the surface to melt that. They have behaviors which help them survive, so they know where to find shelter in the lee of the dunes. They get out of the wind. They also will sort of cluster in their bands and help retain body heat that way by staying close to one another. Then in the summer, we have some other situations where the eastern half of the island actually doesn't often have fresh water ponds on the surface, and the horses know where to dig and how far to dig to get access to fresh water. So they're basically making their own little wells, and they're digging, drinking the water out of those wells. The horses in the west side of the island, the freshwater ponds are more permanent, and they are there year round. So they're getting good opportunities to drink in the west there.
Wow, amazing how they can adapt. Thank you so much for walking us through this. We appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. It was a joy.
Coming up, documents obtained by CBC News reveal 3 potential pipeline routes from Alberta to the West Coast. And heated rivalry sweeps the Canadian Screen Awards with a record of 16 wins, including Best Drama Series. Welcome back. The U.S. military bombed radar and drone sites in Iran over the weekend after Tehran shot down an American drone. Actions that further strain the nominal ceasefire existing between the two countries. U.S. Central Command also says it intercepted missiles Iran fired at American troops in Kuwait, despite the fighting and the failure to reach a peace agreement so far. U.S. President Donald Trump said that Tehran really wants to make a deal, adding, quote, "Just sit back and relax. It will all work out well in the end." Meanwhile, Trump says Israel and Hezbollah have agreed to dial back fighting. It comes after the U.S. president spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and communicated with the militant group through mediators. Trump's comments come hours after Israel had ordered new attacks on the southern suburbs of Beirut and as militant group fired rockets at northern Israel. And Trump's social media post comes after Israeli troops advanced to their deepest point in Lebanon in decades. But Trump said Hezbollah had agreed that all the shooting would stop, that Israel would not attack them, and they will not attack Israel. CBC News has obtained documents that show the Alberta government has considered 3 different pipeline routes through northern BC. Until now, the Alberta government has provided few details about its pipeline proposal, which has construction set to begin as early as 2027. CBC's Kyle Bax has more.
The documents we obtained show 3 possible routes through northern BC. The first one begins in Fort McMurray in the heart of the oil sands in northern Alberta and travels west to a location on the north coast called Observatory Inlet. The other 2 routes begin in the Edmonton area. The first travels west and then slightly north before reaching Nasoga Gulf, where an export terminal would be built. The other option begins in Edmonton and moves west through the Rocky Mountains before splitting to reach both Kitimat and Prince Rupert. That route is nearly identical to Enbridge's former Northern Gateway proposal. Now, these port locations, 6 of them in total, are all located where oil tankers are currently prohibited on the North Coast because of the federal moratorium. Now, we showed these maps to some experts who pointed out how difficult this train will be, not only the mountains, but sensitive areas and major rivers too, home to salmon habitat.
The question will be, are you able to put in place appropriate mitigation strategies to preserve those rivers?
Another expert we spoke with said some of the northern routes seem to purposely avoid some of the communities that are known to object to major oil and gas projects, instead traveling through some communities that could be more supportive.
This is a strategic route for political reasons, not for economic reasons.
The documents focused on northern BC, but we do know the Alberta government is still considering a southern route as well, which would end up in the general Vancouver area. Now, the Alberta government wants to submit this proposal to the Federal Major Projects Office this month. That's when the exact route could be unveiled. But those I've spoken to in government and those involved in the consultation process say it's possible the Alberta government will not include a specific route. Instead, the submission may include a corridor, a general area, and then sometime in the future the government will actually pick the route and the ports. I'm told that that's a possibility, just one of the aspects to watch for with this proposed pipeline to the West Coast. Kyle Bax, CBC News, Calgary.
A child remains in critical condition near Montreal after being blown away in a bouncy castle Sunday. Several people were injured in the incident when high wind gusts swept through a community celebration. Jenna Badoso reports.
Deflated bouncy castles and loose napkins are all that's left after a party was cut short by a tragic accident.
There must have been like dozens of police cars and ambulances and fire trucks, and it was just a lot of chaos here.
Several people were gathered at Willett Park on Sunday in La Salle. The group was reportedly taking part in an organized church party when heavy winds picked up, reaching close to 50 kilometers per hour. The bouncy castle being used was apparently picked up and thrown down, injuring many.
Table, chairs were flying, people were falling on the floor, and then the balloon, the inflated balloon, that really, I'm so shocked. I still have that image in front of me, like flying up in the sky, like at least 30 feet high, and then all of a sudden it dropped on the floor.
Urgence Santé says 11 people were injured, 7 adults and 4 children, including one child who was critically injured at the time and taken to the hospital. La Salle Borough Mayor Nancy Blanchet declined all interview requests, but in an online post, she extended her support to those affected by the terrible event. She says the borough will speak to those involved to fully understand the circumstances surrounding the event. She says all necessary measures will be considered based on the findings. Many in the community are still shaken by the event, and questions still remain about how this happened and which safety measures should be taken when weather conditions change unexpectedly. Jenny Badoso, CBC News, La Salle.
With the warming of diplomatic relations between Canada and China, travel between the two countries is getting easier. Chinese tourists are now choosing Canada again, and Canadians are choosing China. Lisa Shing reports.
Tourists flock to some of China's most iconic sites, like the sprawling Forbidden City in Beijing.
We really like the cities, so they're really big but quiet.
Germans were some of the first to benefit after the pandemic. China exempted them from needing a visitor visa for up to 15 days. Now it's 30, with Canada added to that list earlier this year as relations improved. Soon after, Ottawa announced more frequent direct flights to China, bringing more business to Chinese tour operators. We think tourists from different countries can come here to fully understand the country's development, she says. For years, bilateral relations were strained after Meng Wanzhou, an executive with tech giant Huawei, was arrested in Vancouver, and the high-profile detainment of Canadians in China. When China reopened after COVID restrictions, Canada was not approved for group travel until late last year. Now, as Donald Trump's global trade war pushes Canada to find new partners, Chinese tourists are giving Canada another look. I would definitely experience Canada's life, environment, and atmosphere, says Li Wei. Travel numbers reflect that interest, with visits rising since 2023. At this trade show, there are twice as many buyers from China as last year. These Canadian tour operators expect the trend to continue. Before the pandemic hit, tourists from China spent close to $2 billion a year.
They love to partake in local culture, local cuisine, love to shop. And so when they come to Canada, they spend their money in lots of different ways, and that makes them very valuable to our industry.
While the number of travelers hasn't bounced back completely, this company has sold out its spring trips, a hopeful sign of new growth. Lisa Shing, CBC News, Toronto.
The family of former NHL star Claude Lemieux will donate his brain for research. Lemieux died by suicide last week, and as the CBC's Alexander Silberman explains, his death has reignited the conversation about the risk of brain injury in sports.
Claude Lemieux, basking in the glory he earned as a revered and tenacious hockey star, only 4 days later, found dead by suicide at age 60.
The whole nation is probably conversing about this.
Lemieux's death leaves the hockey community saddened and stunned, and is sparking reflection on the hidden struggles many athletes may face.
Even though things are better, there is still quite a bit of stigma, and nobody wants to get judged.
Lemieux's death is also restarting conversations about the physical toll of the sport. The fierce competitor was known for his aggressive, hard-hitting style. Lemieux's family is now donating his brain to a research center at Boston University, where it will be studied for chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE. The brain disease is caused by repeated blows to the head and can only be diagnosed after death. Symptoms include memory loss and depression.
It's a rather tragic condition.
Experts say hockey leagues need to take action to reduce concussions, like finding ways to decrease hits to the head.
Prevention has to be practiced more diligently in this national game.
In a statement, Lemieux's family stressed that no conclusions should be made at this time. This decision is a gift to science, to athletes, and to future generations of families seeking answers, they wrote. The donation comes in the wake of a notable diagnosis. Former Bruins enforcer Lyndon Byers, who died last July at 61, was found to have had advanced CTE. The hockey world urging better support for athletes during and after their careers, and calling for players to speak up. Alexander Silberman, CBC News, Montreal.
There were plenty of famous faces at this year's Canadian Screen Awards, some from hit shows, others who were there to offer heartfelt tributes. The CBC's Griffin Yeager was there and brings us the highlights.
It was heated rivalries night here at the Canadian Screen Awards, winning 16 trophies, the most the show could possibly win, and breaking a CSA record, capping off a huge year for the Canadian hockey love story turned worldwide hit.
Hudson Williams, heated rivalry.
The show star Hudson Williams took home Best Lead Performer in a Drama and shared some love for his cast, loved ones, and of course his fellow co-star.
So to the honorary Canadian Connor Story, I share this award with you. Thank you.
I caught up with him on the red carpet about the wild year he's had.
It grew into a seismic thing that I can't wrap my head around. I keep saying that, but it's true. It's I don't even know what it is at this point. It's just like this gay, beautiful juggernaut.
Anna Lamb from North of North.
Another hit, North of North, went in as the top nominee and left with 9, including Best Comedy Series and Best Lead Performer in a Comedy for Anna Lamb. And I spoke with her just after her win, and she shared this sweet message for her younger self.
And I would want young Anna to know that you get to this point, that you don't feel like you're not cut from the cloth. You feel like you deserve it, and that's pretty cool.
A comedy icon.
The show, hosted by Andrew Fung, had some other standout moments too. Eugene Levy surprised fans with a heartfelt tribute to the late Catherine O'Hara.
Her body of work alone has earned her legendary status in the entertainment industry, but it was who she was as a person that endeared her to millions.
You've entertained millions of people.
And Eddie Murphy, Cameron Diaz, and Will Arnett all paid tribute over video to Mike Myers, who was honored with the Academy Icon Award.
I want to thank my mom and dad for moving to Canada. And for stressing the importance of being silly. Canada, I don't know what to say, dude. I'd literally be nothing without you.
It was a night of Canadian moments and a celebration of their global appeal. Griffin Yeager, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, Canada's main stock index dipped slightly today, weighed down by losses in the basic materials sector, while U.S. markets gained ground. Here's a look at the numbers as we go to break. And we are back to wrap things up, and it's that time of the show, picture time.
Picture time.
Where are we headed?
Tonight, yeah. I mean, it's always a mystery, right?
It is.
Could be anywhere across the province. Have a look at tonight's entry, and we are going to zoom in on Brule Point. So the North Shore, this was a cool spot this weekend, but a beautiful spot nonetheless. And thanks to Christina for sharing this. Ryan's picks at cbc.ca. Love to see the sun breaking through there over the weekend, and of course, even more so today. And yes, tomorrow, that Northumberland Shore, good chance in Brule Point and across that Northumberland Shore that we're going to be seeing some thunderstorms moving through. Thunderstorm chances from Cape Breton right across to Yarmouth, but the greatest risk will be in the east and in central areas, no doubt about that. Double digits in Cape Breton, mid-teens for most of the province, a little cooler along that Northumberland Shore once those thunderstorms do roll in and kind of shift the winds to onshore. Now for Wednesday, widespread temperatures that are looking set to range between about 16 and 20. It is going to be a bit cooler in the onshore winds, right downtown Halifax, but inland I think we're going to be warmer than that. And you can see, let's time this out. So there's that trough coming in. Note the shower chances overnight into tomorrow morning along that Northumberland Shore, Colchester, Cumberland, Cobequid Bay, Cape Breton. But it really fills in, lots of green on the map here for tomorrow afternoon. That's when we'll have our greatest chances. And note where the bulk of that activity is. East, central, could see some of those showers and thunderstorms pushing back towards the west, however. That trough will move off to the south and east as we move into Wednesday. High pressure taking over, bringing us some sunshine. And Wednesday looks like a pretty good day. As I said, Thursday looks even better. High pressure anchored to our east, which allows that southwest flow to really move in. And then we're going to be cold front watching. But it does look like that front should at least hold off until Friday evening into the overnight. Saturday right now looks like some scattered showers, but still some disagreement on the timing of that. So we'll keep you posted.
Absolutely. Well, one of the most hyped full moons of the year appeared last night. Have a look. You're looking at a rare blue moon that rose over the Poseidon Temple in Greece. The extraordinary event refers to the presence of a second full moon within the same calendar month. Usually only happens every 2 or 3 years.
NASA says this is also one of the smallest moons of the year, known as a micromoon.
Very cool. All right, well, that is it for us tonight. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Good night.